Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our live virtues. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope we stay at level 2 or move on to level 1 to be better, wouldn't it? But I don't know what's happening. I've heard some rumors, but hopefully everything is going to be okay. So I hope you're doing well. We have been looking at the parenting styles, of course. We looked at the permissive, which in its extreme is a form of neglect. We looked at dominant, which can be oppressive. Democratic, which invites conflict and power struggles. And sliding, which is to shift back and forth between all three, leading to chaos. The one that we are looking at, of course, now, which I believe, and researchers believe, is the best parenting model, is the educative model, where clear, reasonable discipline gives children the foundation for self-control. Listen to that again. Clear, reasonable discipline gives children the foundation for self-discipline. So we want to take a look at giving children R&R, that is, routines and rituals this morning. Children crave clear boundaries. I'm Bob Jackman, of course, and I'm the teacher and virtues facilitator here at the Charles G. Andrew Youth and Family Treatment Center, and I'm here at work today. Children crave clear boundaries. Their natural need for mastery and meaning requires a sense of order. They want to know where the track is and where the finish line is, and what it means to be a good athlete, a good son, or a good daughter. Without boundaries, the world is simply too overwhelming. In their early years, they also crave predictability. The establishment of routines, rituals, and rules give them a sense that all is right with the world. For example, young children love to have the same bedtime routine. Sometimes they want the same stories or the same prayers over and over. I know with my grandchildren, when I put them to bed, they've always got the book, and it's the same book over and over again until I go get a different one. I can't find that one, I'll go get a different one so I can read a different book to them. And then they get latched onto that one as well, right? And the result, of course, is that you've got a 6-year-old that's reading fluently. That's the result of that. When our younger son was 3, he had an experience at a summer family retreat which turned him temporarily into a tough guy. The cook was taking a break and began talking and laughing with him as we sat in rocking chairs on the porch of the lodge chatting with other parents. Suddenly, he ran over to one of the posts and began to lick it, looking very proud of himself. The cook laughed uproariously. When we went over to investigate, the cook said, "I was just telling him what a tough little guy he is." I said, "I bet you could lick this post." This seemed harmless. It seemed harmless enough until the next day when the camp nursery counselor said, "Your son keeps butting his head into other children. He just won't stop." That evening, he scampered ahead of me down the long stairway to the lobby of the lodge. As I reached the landing, I looked down and saw a frail, elderly woman walking through the front door. I watched in horror as my son lowered his head and prepared to charge. I raced down the stairs and caught him just as he was about to make contact. This woman was the guest speaker who had just traveled from Japan. In her 80s, she was considered an international treasure, and my son could have seriously hurt her. I knew I had to get through to him. Not yet aware of the language of the virtues, I was at a loss. Scolding didn't seem to get through to him, for he had latched on to toughness as his meaning, and butting people as his mastery of choice. That night, it came to me to make up a story about a goat, a kid who was so tough that none of the other kids wanted to play with him. His name, of course, was the same name as my son's, In the story, the kid wanders into the barn, rejected and sad. And old Billy Goat counsels him that if he wants friends, he has to save butting for things like fence posts or trees, but not other goats. In the end, he is welcomed back to the circle of his friends. My son responded immediately to this story of a character by his own name. The story became his ritual. He asked for it almost every night for the next several months. How I wish I had known also to call him by his true names, gentleness and peacefulness. Older children and teens thrive on routines as well. For example, a regular time and day of the week to sit down and assign the weekly housework. The services, right? Well, you call them chores, I suppose, but services. It can be an enjoyable time, with a ritual such as pizza for dinner that evening, followed by a night just for the family to do something enjoyable together. So that's the routines and rituals. Now, of course, you know, there are 10 guidelines for establishing family ground rules. I just wanted to just get that part introduced to you, because the next time we're live, we're going to be actually looking at those guidelines, okay? Establishing family ground rules is one of the best ways to set clear boundaries. To be effective, chosen boundaries need to be those to which everyone in the household is committed. They need to be simple, clear, measurable, and observable. They should reflect the vision or mission of the family, the purposes which guide what you are about as a family, not just something to rein in children's behavior. One simple way to establish this vision is to look at the list of virtues, and I'm going to post those in a comment underneath this video. Okay, so you will have a copy of the virtues. You can add to the list too if you know, if there's any virtues that you'd like to include in the list. You by all means do that, right? And then choose a few core virtues which characterize the kind of family you want to be. For example, you may choose peacefulness, cleanliness, respect, consideration, responsibility. It's up to your family which virtues you want to, you know, to become part of your vision or mission for your family. Establishing family ground rules is perhaps the most important way to keep children feeling safe, both physically and emotionally. It also establishes limits which support mutual respect, peace, and justice in the family. The clearer children are about what is expected, the better their chances of feeling loved and accepted in their efforts to do the right thing. So there's 10 guidelines. We'll certainly be discussing those at length. Okay, so now that you know what's coming up, and we know that rituals and routines are very important, if you don't have rituals and routines, then children are not sure what to believe from one day to the next. One day they're allowed to do something, the next day they're not. One day they get punished for something, the next day they don't get punished for the same thing. Or they may get punished harsher one day and not at all the next. You know, so that's why it's so important to have these ground rules established in your family, so children know what to expect, right? And also by doing that, you develop the virtues that are within them, like their self-discipline, self-esteem, you know, their feeling of being safe, you know, and developing the responsibility that's also within them. And that develops when we become role models for the children, you know. So I picked a virtue for today. It might be a good one that would follow right along with what we just talked about, you know. And it is the virtue of purposefulness. And you often hear a child will run to mommy or daddy and say, so-and-so threw something at me. and the person says, no, I wasn't throwing it at you. Yes, you did. You did it on purpose. You threw it on purpose. In other words, you meant to do it. It was a goal of yours. You stepped forward to try and hit me with that rock that you threw, right? So that's what purposefulness is. So what is it again? Being purposeful is having a clear focus. Instead of being confused or unsure of what you're doing or why you're doing it. You're acting purposefully when you have a goal you are working toward. You concentrate your mind and your efforts so that something good will happen as a result. Some people just let things happen. A purposeful person makes things happen. So why should we practice purposefulness? Without a sense of purpose, people scatter their energies and their attention. Without knowing why they are doing something, the purpose, they easily give up. When you choose to be purposeful, you can achieve great results. Motivation comes easily because you know why you are doing something. You have a positive attitude and don't let obstacles stop you from doing what is important. So how do you practice it? Being purposeful begins with setting a vision or a goal for what you want to accomplish. Knowing why it is important is your purpose. With your goal in mind, do things one at a time. With as much care and concentration as you can, don't let yourself get scattered in many directions, trying to do everything at once. Stay focused on your purpose. And here are your signs of success. Congratulations, you are practicing purposefulness when you have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. When you know why you are doing it. When you focus on a goal. You are practicing purposefulness when you get back on purpose if you get scattered or distracted. Doing things one at a time and finishing what you start. Persevere until you get results. And the affirmation, I am purposeful. I am clear about what I am doing and why. I stay focused on my goals. I know I can accomplish great things. Quotes? Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the goal. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And you must have heard this one many times. So this one was by late Ribeiro. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always want. Or always got, rather, sorry. Here's another one by Mark Twain. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting started is breaking your overwhelming task into small, manageable tasks and then starting on the first one, little by little. Always act, always walk, always proceed. Neither stand nor go back. And that's St. Augustine. Strong reasons make strong actions. Unknown. Now, what are the biggest distractions when you're trying to get something done? Think about that. When you have a goal in mind, there's a project that you're trying to get done, what are the biggest distractions for you? Think about this one. How important is a sense of purpose to success? How important is it to have a goal, a purpose, in order to be successful? If you don't know what the goal is, it's hard to finish the goal. It's hard to achieve the goal. It's hard to complete it if you don't know what the goal is. So each day, when you decide what it is you're doing for the day, you set those goals and you do them on purpose, right? Here's something you can consider. Last one. Name a goal which is important to you and say why. To yourself, to your partner, to your family, but name a goal which is important to you and then say why, okay, to them. Okay, so keep your eyes on the prize. Thank you very much for being with me today. And I'll see you again talk with you again on Wednesday. And again, because I'm at work, I'm not sure when I'll be able to go live, but just so happened I was able to go at 10 o'clock today. It may not happen on Wednesday, but I'll certainly put it on in the morning when I'm going to go live with the 10 guidelines for setting up family ground rules. Okay, rules, family boundaries, whatever you want to call them. So anyway, until then, continue to stay safe, and I look forward to talking with you again on Wednesday. So until then, bye for now.